There is nothing wrong with your podcast streaming service. We now control your device. This is not a test. This is Podcast of the Paranormal. Close your curtains and stay away from your windows. Lock your doors, turn off your lights. Get your snacks and drinks ready. Get to your basement or attic. The podcast is about to begin.
Hello and welcome to Podcast of the Paranormal. This is Jody and I'm here with Gabrielle.
Hello, everyone. We are here with a special Halloween episode.
So how's everything going, Gabrielle?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, can't complain. I'm tired.
Burning candles at both ends, huh?
Yeah,
And now we have to record.
it's the season.
But that's all right. We have a special guest on today. Bob, who I used to work with. Monster Shop Bob. That's what we're going to call him. Monster Shop Bob.
That's all right. Hey, everybody.
Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel?
Sure. So, hey, everybody. My name is Monster Shop Bob. I run the Monster Shop Creepy Tutorials YouTube channel. And started it about a year and a half ago. Starting to grow it. One of my biggest things on the channel is I like to create Halloween props on a budget. So there's so many people out there that spend thousands of dollars on these animatronics and these monster-sized props.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, we like to be budget friendly, so I like to find different ways to make props on a budget. I'm kind of a hoarder myself, so anything I can do to, build these on a budget, and that's one of the things I focus on the channel. We also do unboxing videos. I do prop rehab. Sometimes what I'll do is look on Facebook Marketplace or wherever to see if I can find props that are broken or really cheap, and either try to fix them or change them or turn them into something else. So ever since I started, the props have been getting pretty intense, the ones I build. So I'm looking forward to keep doing all this fun stuff, and everybody's hopping on the Monster Shop train, it's really cool.
Yeah, we'll have to give your address away so when people are looking to get rid of stuff, they could just drop it off in your front yard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm telling you, I just scored a prop a couple weeks ago. I'm actually recording a video right now for it. It's called Tallulah. It was from Spirit. It's a prop that is, I think it's like $330, and I picked it up for $25 online,
That's cool.
So the lady just didn't have time. She has a ton of props, animatronics, and she doesn't have time to fix them. So she, put it out there, and she's a really nice lady. I met her a couple times. I bought props off her before, her and her husband, and they just didn't have time to fix it. So we took it all apart and found out that a lot of these props, it's simple fixes. Like it could be a band, like a rubber band that drives the motor, or corrosion.
Mm-hmm.
So took it apart, and here this one it turned out to be a disaster. It turned out to be a metal gear. So I had to dig deep into like the world of the haunt world, go to Spirit tech support and reach out to. I actually went on Etsy to see if there was someone in Canada that made metal gears. Tried all our local companies around here, and no luck. So luckily, I had a connection that helped me out, and they were able to 3D print the gear for me in plastic, the hardest plastic he had. But unfortunately, that didn't work because I, hooked it together and the gears just spit all over the place. But luckily, he did. He had the capability of doing it in metal, and I got it fixed. The prop is working. I have it outside right now, so I was thrilled about that one. So I got a $330 prop for $25, and a little bit of hard work.
That's awesome. Yeah. So
That's
a
really cool.
little backstory. Bob used to do a haunted house around Halloween time in the office.
We don't do that at the office anymore, but we kind of still do it at our house here. I'm considered in the haunt world a home haunter. That's where I kind of see where I'm fitting in. Like you guys, are into the supernatural stuff. I've always been a home haunter ever since I could remember. Growing up, I've always decorated either my room, and then when we had our first house in Wilkes-Barre, that one got a little gory the first year. I remember that. I made these props that were kind of gory, and my neighbors were looking at me. But then we moved where I live now, and it's a little bit nicer neighborhood. So I had to, try to ease my way into the neighborhood. So we started off with a couple pumpkins, and then then I got into skeletons, and then I think it was like COVID really. In 2020 was when we really started going all out. So my wife and I, every year we try to top the previous year, and every year we pick a different theme for our house. So, for example, with COVID, we couldn't really do anything. So we really pulled out all of our decorations, made so much cool stuff, and put it out in the front. And people would drive by, just kind of giving them a little bit of Halloween joy. Then the next year we did a different theme. And then my daughter's birthday is in October, and we always do a Halloween themed birthday party for her. So the last couple of years we started doing walkthroughs. So I started getting into, we turned our shed into a haunted walkthrough. And then last year, it was cool. We had a lot of people there. Even on Halloween night, we opened our yard up, and there was a line from the shed up to the road and down the road to come in. I had a person last year that told me that he comes specifically in our neighborhood to see what we're going to do every year. So it makes you feel cool that what you're doing is appreciative. People like coming there, So last year we did a full on, I actually have a video of it on my channel. We did a zombie outbreak theme in our yard where it was an immersive experience where, a group of people come through our yard and they get pushed into our shed, which was an encampment, and there was a guy in there, and we shuttled them through the yard, and then I made a walk through underneath our porch and stuff. It was so cool. We had a tunnel system and everything, and people went through it. They love it. So that's where we are. We're more or less home haunters. And this year we're kind of I feel like I'm falling behind this year. We have so much to do. And this year we're doing a witch theme. So I have a lot of stuff out. We actually built a witch's hut in our front yard. I have old pallets. We were down in that empty lot behind our house, cutting down trees, branches, and picking up dead branches for the roof. We got witches out there. I made cauldrons. I've been making cauldrons mad on my channel. So it's never a dull moment in October. We love it. It's fun.
Yeah, if I recall back to the office setup, I remember you using black garbage bags to set up tunnels.
Yeah, that's all you need. And that's the thing, you don't need to spend money on this expensive stuff. You can make so much cool, you'd be blown away. If you go on my channel and see the props that I built out of nothing. I took a pool filter, a sand filter, right? It sprung a leak in our pool. So I took that, and I heated it up, and I made this wicked cauldron out of it, right? With spray foam. And it probably really cost me only $25 to make, not even. And I sold it at a Halloween flea market for $150, So,
wow.
It's, and that's another thing is there's such a draw for this stuff, for Halloween, material. This is a good market to be in, no matter what you're in, because the haunt industry is just massive. If you think about all the different subgenres of haunting, with the stuff you guys are doing, there's such a draw for that. You have all these haunted attractions, we have Reaper's Revenge around us, and there's down in Philly, you have all the that Eastern State Penitentiary, all these cool areas that do these haunted things. And then the home haunters, the people, you drive around. I love driving around looking at people's ideas of how they set their houses up and everything. It's phenomenal.
When you have younger kids, especially, because it's just, you get them into the Halloween holiday spirit.
Yeah.
And it's just something fun to do with your kids. We used to go around to all, the light shows and.
Yeah. Think about all the Halloween stuff. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, they're loaded with animatronics, and they're selling like hotcakes. I personally, I try, they're so expensive, and they even got more expensive lately. So I was buying one a year, and then this year I made it a point not to buy anything. So I'm just trying to rely on what I'm building now,
So how many giant skeletons do you have?
I actually have the giant werewolf. I don't have the skeleton, but that one is a funny story. The giant werewolf popped up on Facebook Marketplace. Now, For you guys that don't know, the giant werewolf was only made a couple years for Home Depot, and they stopped making it, so it's kind of rare. And right now, if you go on like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or wherever, usually they're going for about 400 to 500, upwards of, I've seen them for $900. This one was on sale for $150, but it was down in Philadelphia, like down in Philly area, like around New Jersey, I think actually. And ironically, when I found it, I was at the urgent care with my daughter because like 2 years ago, she's all fully been vaccinated, but she ended up catching chicken pox. And ironically, found the werewolf, and we drove down. She had to stay in quarantine, but we drove down that day down to there because I wanted it for $150. You know, damn right, I'm going to go down and get it. We brought it back, and then here I went to set it up, and the guy forgot to give me the base for it. You know?
Oh no!
So yeah, and like you can't put them together without the base. So we landed up talking to the guy, and he met me in Allentown, which is half the distance.
Yeah.
And I got it. But yeah, he's not out this year though. He's staying in his storage. I try to stick to my theme every year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So you have a whole garage dedicated. Would you have a barn for all this stuff? You must have a barn.
Yeah,
for all
we
this.
have a shed, and then I have storage above my garage.
Oh yeah.
Recently, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but there's a lot of like Halloween flea markets popping up around their area, and even like major shows. Like they have different like Trans World and stuff. They have, which is like a huge Halloween thing. They're doing the East Coast shows now down near Philly, but there's this big flea market that I go to in the summer. It's in August, and you wouldn't believe how far people travel for this stuff. Like. I know the guy who runs the flea market. He's a really nice guy. And he opens his his Facebook page to allow people to show off what they're building, you know, and you see it all. Like you see so much custom work. There's animatronics there's vintage props, and people travel from Virginia, New York, New Jersey. I was talking to some guy from Long Island about, you know, coming down. He stayed overnight to come. So basically what I started doing is, because I was at max capacity, you know, being that I build a lot of stuff on my channel, I'll go over and I'll bring it down to the flea market and sell it. I'll keep the ones that I like. Some of the things I can't, you know, I don't want to part with, but they have like sentimental value, like a really cool build. But a lot of them I do sell, and you make a lot of money off of it, selling some of these props.
Well, sure. Why not? Especially if you're done with it, right?
Exactly.
You have no use for it anymore. Just get rid of it. Why not make a profit on it? You're funding your next project.
Exactly. Yeah. The guy that runs the flea market, that's what he actually does. I don't know if that's his main job or if he does it on the side, but he does clean out. So he'll do Halloween clean out. So say like a person like me that has a ton of Halloween stuff, you know, one day I decide to hang up, throw in the towel. I'm done with it. And he'll go and contact these people and offer them a price to how much would you want for your whole collection, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think this is how he started the flea market. He would go buy the stuff and he'd sell it on his Facebook page or whatever he sold some of the props from. And then whatever he didn't sell, he brought it to the flea market and people would buy it up like mad, you know? So, you know, I kind of got into that mindset now where that's the way to do it, you know, like rather than just pile up all this stuff, like what do you do with it, you know? So I'm going to just try to have my experience of building something. And then it's kind of a cool idea because you're passing it along to somebody who else can enjoy it. And it's one of a kind prop. It's something that like I thought in my own head how it's going to work or what it's going to look like, and someone else will enjoy it. You know, I think that's a pretty cool idea. Like, you know, I've obviously never seen one in public at someone's house, you know, but it will be cool to stumble across one. Hey, I built that. That was pretty cool.
So what's one of your favorite builds that you took something that was completely not Halloween themed and turned it into like, you know, like a horror prop?
Let's see. Well,
you know what I mean? You ever take like a Santa or something like that, or his reindeer, make like a zombie Santa and sled?
Not really. I mean, they all have like a theme. I'm trying to think of the ones I've done so far.
Yeah.
But like a lot of it's like, you know, has like a Halloween theme, but like certain things that like for example, I did these grave robbers. Like I landed up buying these 2 heads, these foam. So a little backstory for me, like I'm a big fan of linear props. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's all different types. There's pneumatic props. There's linear, like reindeer motor type, old school props. You know, there's electrical props, all this stuff. So for me, I like the vintage aesthetic of like a 1970s or 80s prop where it just had like one linear move, like a left to right, or up and down. I don't, like these ones that jump up and scare you.
Yeah.
Are cool, but like, it gets crazy, So these ones I like because I'm more of a creepy Halloween guy. Like I like the creep factor of, wow, like this thing's moving. Like, what is that? That's pretty cool. Compared to like something that's going to scare the shit out of you,
Yeah.
So at the flea market, the guy that I've been a vendor there for 2 years now, and the guy that I get set up next to every year, we have like our assigned spots. He's such a cool guy, but he deals in all these old like 1990s and 80s props that are like latex or like they're styrofoam type prop. And I purchased these 2 heads, and like this was just 2 random heads that I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this? And from those 2 heads, I ended up making these really cool grave robbers, that with the motors that their heads turn and you have the shovels and stuff. And it was a cool build. Like just from 2 heads, I turned out to make these 2 graveyards. And I don't think that's a prop that I will ever sell. Like I still put them out in our house and stuff like that, but it's just really cool.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like what I was getting at. Did you ever take something that wasn't meant for Halloween and then turn it into something creepy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anything that I can get my hands on, like I try to think of like what I can build out of it. I will admit, like what I've been doing now is I'm doing this series on my channel now is like, can I build that? That's what I'm calling it. The Can I Build That series, where like I'll look online and look at people's builds of certain like iconic DIY props that people build, and I try to build it myself. Like I'll use some watch the video how they did it, but use my own twist. So right now I'm working on they're called cauldron creepers, right? You can buy them online. Certain animatronic stores sell them, and I wanted to do a custom one. And people have done custom ones, but their build, the way they made them, I wanted to make it more professional looking, I guess. So like, I have hidden wires and I hooked up fog machines to them, and there's a lot of detail in the prop. And like right now, it's probably gonna be my favorite one I'm doing so far. It looks so cool. I probably have hours worth of video to edit after this, so I'm not looking forward to the editing process.
I hear you on that.
But like, right now, I get excited even looking at it. Like it's like that's when you're doing something that you truly love doing, is that when you get like excited doing it. Or like, say for you guys, when you guys go to a place that has a history, and you're getting all these readings and stuff, like you get that thrill, like you're in the zone, you're doing something you like. And this one, like I'm really thrilled with the way it's turning out so far, and I have another one to build. But, that's one of those things that I'll probably keep one of them and sell the other one.
So what kind of materials do you use a lot of? Like, I'm thinking you're going to be using a lot of paint. You're going to be using a lot of epoxy and resins. So. Yeah,
so the number one thing we use is, there's 2 major things we use. Number one is a glue gun, hot glue. Gorilla glue, you use that like mad. We get burned constantly, And zip ties. Zip ties, you use them like mad. Like, specifically for Halloween, like I always buy like a couple 100 packs, 100 quantity packs of those things, because you use them for so much, So that, and then, paint, and obviously, and your painting skills really, some people make props and they're just slop paint on stuff, or like they don't put any time into it. For me, like I like detail, right? So for the painting part of it, like I'm super into layering and dry brushing, and making it looking authentic. I just did 2 cauldrons this past weekend. My buddy came over, and they look phenomenal. They look great. I didn't do a video on them, but I did do a YouTube short on it. So you can probably check it out on the channel if you guys want. But it's awesome. It looks really cool, and I have them outside. I put like lights in the fire and below it and stuff, and it looks pretty cool. So
Do you use a lot of fog?
Yes, actually, believe it or not, behind me in my room I'm at now, I have 2 fog machines sitting on a table here, and I just got an order of fog juice.
Oh yeah.
So literally, that's like right behind me. It's amazing you just said that, because those are going out this weekend. I have those cauldrons that I built, and we ran a hose in the cauldrons, and we're making a fog chiller, it's called. So what you do is, it's a little tip, but if you put ice and cool the fog down, so you put a little grate in the bottom of our cauldron, we're going to put ice on top of it, so when the fog goes into the machine, out of the machine into the cauldron, it gets cooled down and it billows on the ground.
Oh, it stays. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is there a build that you did when you first started out that you look back on now and you think of ways that you can improve it?
Yeah, I think so. There's a couple. Okay, so how I started this channel, right? So I wanted something to keep my mind in the right place. Like, I stopped drinking when I needed something to focus on, right? So back, in the day when I was drinking, I would film videos of my haunts, stuff I built, right? But I would always not follow through in doing it, right? So I would always have all this footage on my phone and then never do anything with it. It was more of a personal use. And then when I stopped drinking, I'm like, I'm gonna start a channel. It's something to keep my mind on. It's something I love doing, and that's what I started. So my first video I did was kind of a mishmash of stuff that I've done before I stopped drinking. And so some of it that I was building, I would definitely redo if I could. I would definitely put more detail. I think right now, I'm so focused on what I want to do and the channel and my builds that I'm putting so much more detail in it now as I did before. So yeah, there's one of the projects, I did these little pumpkin guys, and I didn't have that much footage, and I kind of wanted to put it out there because they were really cool, and I would definitely redo that one in a heartbeat, because I had they took a long time to build, but I didn't really showcase what it could have been, so I wish I did that one over again. But I think right now I'm recording way too much, because a lot of stuff just ends up on the editing floor. But I want to capture everything, because a lot of times you go to these YouTube channels and it's okay, well, this is the thing I built. And they just show you it. A lot of people want to know how you built it, so I'm trying to be more detailed as far as that is concerned, how everything goes. And then it's funny too, because I want to do a blooper reel so bad, because I curse like a sailor, and there's so many curses I edit out. So I'm trying to keep it I'm not gonna say it's a PG channel, because there are bombs I let loose, but I try to limit them, But it's so much fun, because everybody has their own style, and I'm trying to create a channel that people can go to and have a good time. I kind of have a welcoming attitude in the channel, and I'm looking for input from people, what we can change or what they want me to build. I could do it,
Yeah, isn't that the best part? Getting getting people to interact with you.
Yeah, and it's hard. Now, it's hard, but around Halloween time, it's when you shine, because everybody is in the mood now to build stuff. They're in the mood. I post so much content of just small shorts or pictures on my socials, and people are oh, that's so cool, that's wicked, just to show it off. But it's I think Halloween time is when you get the most engagement. After Halloween time, it kind of slows down.
Do you have a dream project that you want to take on?
I think I probably would have something. I think maybe size-wise, it would be something that would be a bigger prop to build and have a lot of motion, a lot of more animatronic parts to it. That's where it relies more on the electronic part, because I can do some electronics, but I'm not really huge into the circuit boards and figuring that stuff out. I kind of want to work more onto that and learn how to make these props move like the ones that you buy in a store,
Right.
I think that would be really cool, to have multiple use of it and use different elements in it. You could use smoke, you could use lighting, you could use fog and stuff. Incorporate that into one big project. I think that would be really cool.
So when you do a theme every year, I think that's kind of where Gabrielle was getting with this. If there was a dream project you wanted to go on, say you wanted to build an alien or something like that, anything specific you really wanted to work on?
Okay, so first things first, I'm not really a blood and guts kind of guy, so nothing gory, But like, I really wanted to do witches, and which I'm doing this year. That's cool, but like, one thing I think I would love to do, and it's really hard, would be like an Egyptian theme. Like, I think
that would be amazing.
That would be cool. And then another thing, the idea that we were going to do this year, and it got put on the side because I just got tied up with a whole bunch of, different things this year. We were going to do a Viking theme with, we were going to build a Viking ship in our front yard. And my buddy was going to come over, and we were going to put like skeletons in the Viking ship rowing the ship, and then have like, I was going to get one of those big skeletons, the 12-foot skeletons, and make it like a huge Viking with a big sword in the air, like, we were thinking about stuff like that.
Yeah. Monster Bob Goes to Valhalla.
Yeah, that might be a contender for next year.
What's a tool that you can't live without during the season?
Glue guns. You got to use glue gun. Use that so much. Like, I buy glue sticks like mad. Like, it's your best friend.
I have to ask you, do you ever create anything with the glue other than just using it to fasten like items together?
I don't know. Maybe if I was bored, I don't know if I may have stuff, but nothing like crazy,
Yeah. I mean, the thing that comes to mind is like if you had to create like some sort of like dripping fluid or gore or spider webs even.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we use that. We do use that for like effects and stuff like tears and stuff like that. You could use that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you a projector guy?
I do have a projector. I use the projector in our haunted shed. What I did was, since I edit all the videos myself, I love it. That's kind of like my thing. I love using my own creative intent to make these videos, right? So as part of the zombie outbreak video, we had one of my buddies come down in my monster shop down where I have my show, and we filmed a newscast down there, and this was part of the walkthrough. It's actually on the video. If you go to my channel, you will see it at the end. But we recorded it down the monster shop, and then I projected it in the shed as part of the experience, So yes, I do have a projector. And I'll tell you one thing. We took a trip down to Halloween Town, it's called. And I filmed a video down there of the houses last year.
Oh, that's in Pittston, right?
In West Pittston.
Pittston. Yeah, I did see that video. Yeah, I'm familiar with that video. You did the walkthrough. You laid some music over the top of it and kind of just walked around doing the MTV camera angle thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there was a house there that like had a projector set up, and like they were like projecting on the house, and as well as like witches in the yard, and it was phenomenal. Like, that's something I would really like to get into as well, but I haven't got to that point where like we have to purchase a couple different projectors and all that stuff.
So are you a spider web guy?
No, absolutely not. My wife is the webber.
You hate that?
We have them all over the house. I have big hands.
Yeah.
So like webs, I am like totally against webs. My wife, Christine, she is the webber. Like, she's been webbing our house for this party we're having, like all week long, and she does the outside. I can't stand webbing.
I can't stand
it. Caught my fingers and
right. It feels like it gets caught in your nails and your fingers, and you're a dude, so you have like really imperfect hands, right?
And then, like, on top of it, like, when you're out cutting the grass and weed whack, and then you hit the webbing and it gets caught in the weed whack.
Oh, no.
Stay away from that shit.
I imagine it's like a domino effect when that happens.
Yes.
We haven't decorated in years because the kids are older now. They don't care.
That's no excuse, Jody. That's no excuse.
I know it's not. Listen, I don't have too much time on my hands here. Yeah. My wife has me doing a podcast now.
I know. That's like, I agree with you on time. Like, for me, I don't think we mentioned it before. So in this, I also do t-shirts. I started a company like earlier in this year, trying to do t-shirts, right? Basically Halloween themed t-shirts. And I tried really hard, and it was so hard to manage the t-shirt part of it and then stay doing Monster Shop, and then, my regular work schedule, and then, my family life. It was just getting too much. And I was spending so much time promoting. It was called Janky Bones. And in the long term, it just wasn't making any money. So I just had to focus, drop that and focus more on the Monster Shop. So I kind of wasted most of my year. I wouldn't call it wasted, but it was a learning experience. But, I had to pivot and go back to my roots where I belong. Trying to do shirts in these days, it's like throwing a line out in the ocean trying to catch a fish, in the middle of the ocean. Like, it was so hard. So I already had an established following on the Monster Shop, but I'm trying to grow that channel. So I think that's where I belong, and I'm still doing the shirts. On the side, I do a lot of, search for like businesses and companies and stuff. But I do my own merch for my Monster Shop channel. It's instant billboard. I walk around with my Monster Shop shirts, and they're really cool the way it is. So, but yeah, I kind of like had a pivot, but that's like you said, it's just, there's only so much time in a day. And I think this is hot off the press, but really haven't really announced it that much. But I think what we're going to do with Janky Bones, we're still going to keep the name. And what we're going to do is, I talked about selling my props. I think we're going to, maybe try to start selling props online and like use Janky Bones as a custom props line. I'll still do my Monster Shop. And there's a reason why I can't do the Monster Shop, because there's a certain company out there that owns like 600 trademarks with Monster in it, and you know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to get trademarked.
Yeah.
So Janky Bones is totally different. I'm in the process of getting trademarked right now, so I kind of have that on my side already. So I think we're gonna kind of start doing that, maybe doing custom props and like gears and like different types of Halloween related items we're gonna start selling. So.
Yeah, I think you found a pretty niche market there, right?
Oh yeah.
Basically taking materials and items that are not being used, turn them into something that's usable for the creepy season.
Yeah. And you're upcycling. You're not getting rid of stuff,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a cool idea.
What do you think makes a haunted house experience memorable?
Okay, so I think the scares. Like, I think like not knowing what's ahead of you. Okay, so for example, we go to Reaper's Revenge a lot, and they change it up, every year. But like they have that, it's called Sector 13. I don't know if you've ever been there, but like that last attraction scares the heck out of you, because you're going into it thinking one thing, and then before you know it, your group gets broken up. And you're all by yourself. Then you'll meet back with one of your group members later on the attraction, and then you'll get one of them will be on a table getting sawed up or something. So that's like you're going into something, but the element of surprise is what really makes a haunted attraction or a haunted house worth it.
Let's take a break real quick here. So, Gabrielle, we have something coming up in November.
Yeah. Creature Feature Weekend, November 7th to the 9th.
Friday is it's kind of like an after work thing.
Yeah, Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday.
All day. Cool. And what are we going to have there?
We're going to be there with stickers, some magnets, just hanging out, looking to talk to people. Have you share your stories with us, any experiences you might have. We're looking to record with people live, so right there on the spot, we're looking to record with you. Or if you're not interested in that, you could always, reach out and ask us to record at a later date, too. We're open to that as well.
Yeah, as always. So anyway, what do you say we get back to our conversation with Bob?
Sure.
Let's switch gears a little bit from, making up the spooky stuff to maybe some of the paranormal side of Bob.
There we go.
What do you think ghosts are, Bob?
All right, so ghosts. Okay, so honestly, really, ghosts, I do believe in them. I have experienced a couple things in the past, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Smurls from The Conjuring, the movie, the movie The Conjuring?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the Smurls, I went to school with them, right? The daughters, the twins,
okay.
Karen. Yeah, I went to the school with them, and I think they were like a little younger than me, but we, friends on Facebook and stuff, and I know Karen was doing her own paranormal, I don't know if it was a podcast or a show, whatever she was doing a little while ago. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if she still does it or not. This was a couple years back. And I reached out to her because I was seeing things, right? I was seeing like flashes in my garage where it was like in the corner of my eye, I'd see something in the top of the ceiling. And
if I could interject real quick, I've
that's how
asked
they
you.
Get you, no?
Yeah, that's how they. I've asked you this question before, and you didn't really have a response.
What, about paranormal stuff?
Well, now maybe
about
he's
the spooky
more open.
Stuff, you know what I mean? So it was more like, yeah, I'm sure something happened, and that's how a lot of people are, right? They think about it for a little bit, and they're like, I saw stuff. So yeah, going back to your story about the corner of the eye stuff, what are you experiencing?
So here's the thing. So like this happened a couple times. I don't know if it was like I seen it at my grandmother's house. My grandmother passed away back in like early 2000s, like 2003. And I was living, in house with her, and my brother was staying there too, when my grandfather passed away, just so she's not by herself. And it was right when I met my wife, and she passed away in the house. And then a year or so after, I got the house and we remodeled it and stuff. And my wife and I moved into that house. And like, I've always seen things like where like in the corner of my eye, we'd see these flashes, right? Like these black, like kind of shadowy type things like up near the stairs in that house, right? I never really thought anything of it because I really don't think that much about the supernatural stuff, So then flash forward a couple more years, we moved into our house here. We built this house here. So, to my knowledge, there's nothing here. Like we built the house in 2008 and, it was on, there's all coal banks around my area. There was really no backstory or like, I didn't move into a house where someone died in here or whatever. Yeah. But like in the garage, I seen that same shadowy figure in the corner of the garage. And it would randomly happen. It didn't happen just once. It happened a couple times. So I always thought like, could that be my grandmother following me into like this new house, checking in on me or something like that, And then another thing, this is kind of like similar but different. So when I was at work, my kids were younger and my father was at our house watching the kids. Like he usually watches them. He would watch them when they were younger. Mm-hmm. And where I drive down to my house, I drive underneath an underpass, right? So on my lunch, somebody jumped off the bridge and killed themselves, So I literally saw it. Like I literally saw him laying there. I got out of the car. No. For weeks after that, every time I drove by that stop, I felt something there. I felt something watching, right? And then I looked up over the on the underpass. There's a whole bunch of rocks that go up to the top. I would picture that guy sitting up top there, and it happened for the longest time and I just couldn't explain it. I was like, I just felt this chill, like maybe he was hanging out there until something, where he passed on through. I don't know. Cause I drive that pretty much every day when I go there and I don't feel it anymore. But for a good couple of weeks after that, I had this chill, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's terrible.
So I'm going to leave that up to you guys, what that could be or what that could mean, because I don't understand it.
Did you ever talk to somebody about seeing that? Like a therapist?
No.
I mean, that's like really heavy and a lot to see. Like as, someone who's unprepared, not expecting to witness something like that.
Yeah. It was messed up. I mean, it was like kind of like, all of a sudden, like we were like, look, and my neighbor down below, he was the first car, I was the second car, and we're just waiting for the cops to come,
Yeah, I think Gabrielle's onto something there. I think you're kind of haunting yourself there.
Really?
Yeah, like a trauma.
That's a trauma response, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's awful.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, like, I haven't really, I don't know, like, I haven't really, if I think about it, like, I haven't really experienced anything like that in a while,
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, any of those type of feelings or anything like that, or seeing those things,
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there could be things that pop up, but you could dismiss it as, what was that? But I'll tell you one thing, though, in ghosts in general, I do believe in them,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, like, I always think deep thoughts, right? So, like, if you believe in ghosts, like, you look deeper than the ghost part of it, right? So, like, what is a ghost? Like, it's a spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you believe that, like, inside, like, I guess it all depends on, like, what you believe when you die, right? Like, if you believe that when you die, everything just ends, then there shouldn't be a ghost, right? Because you're just, life just is done.
Right.
But if you believe in an afterlife, then you should believe in ghosts. So don't you agree? Like, because, that's pretty much the gist of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole conversation on energy, and if energy is persistent, once you die, does that energy just go away, or does it continue on somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So I started reading. I don't want to spoil this for Jody.
That's
because
fine.
I'm trying to get him to read it.
No, that's fine.
So I'm not going to spoil the whole thing. So I started reading The Eighth Tower by John Keel the other day, and he said that he brought up an idea of like almost a hive mind, where we're all like electromagnetic energy. And
so we're in a simulation.
Yes. And even after your pass, like your brain waves still exist, almost like a radio signal. So you can like tune into someone else's brain waves from like 1,000 years ago and like pull them out and like communicate with them.
Yeah, that hits home a lot.
Which was so interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially how that ties into like experiments like the Estes method.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because we get some things that are kind of
Which
like
uses radio waves.
yeah, but again, the stuff that comes through seems kind of like out of time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
sometimes, yeah.
Kind of weird, right? So yeah, that's interesting.
I thought that was really interesting.
I'm still trying to get through my Trickster, the paranormal book.
Yeah,
It's so hard to read.
I know.
And it's like 500 pages. So, Bob,
Yes.
what else do you believe in if you believe in ghosts?
It's hard to believe. Like, for some reason, like, the older I get, the more I'm getting into deep thoughts. Speaking of this, we were talking about giants today. Like, how in Egyptian, like, hieroglyphics, you see these giants playing out right
Yeah.
there. And then, like that, if you think about it, like, they're saying that they did exist, and people are saying, well, we evolved from apes and all this stuff. But, like, what are they there for? And I'm like deep into like deep thoughts like that. Whereas like, we all know the pyramids weren't built by the damn Egyptians. You know what I mean? Like, there's no possible way that they were built with the tools they had back then, and just diving into these wormholes and stuff about Egyptians and creationism, like what's before there. But then they were saying like, that they were talking about all these gods that came down and genetically altered the human race to become a lot smaller and stuff. And I was telling the girl I work with, like, if they had dinosaurs were huge. Why couldn't humans be huge? You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't there be giants? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Nobody knows. And if you think about like how long ago dinosaurs roamed the earth, millions and millions of years ago, compared to how long humans have been on earth, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So that type of stuff, I'm really into that spiritual type of creationism. Like, how did that work? You know what I mean? Good versus evil. I do believe in that as far as the spiritual part of it, because I mean, let's face it, there's some evil people in this world.
That's a very good point.
I mean?
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I'm glad you actually brought that up, because I am so sick of people drawing a line where good and evil intersects. And it's always like, angels and demons, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all people. And there's a lot of shitty people out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And a jerk of a guy isn't become like a nice ghost. Like, he's still going to be the same spirit.
well, allegedly. Maybe not. Maybe they change when they die, right?
Yeah. How does that work? You know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, like,
I don't know, Bob.
it's interesting if you think about it, because like, there's a lot of like possessions out there in demonic type of,
in Hollywood
and stuff out there, and it's like, was that person a good person in real life, or what changed it to become stuck and just torment a lot of people? If you believe in ghosts, right? Like, I would just love to just hang out and see what people do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I would like to, like, I don't want to be a creep or anything like that, but like, just like, I'm not going to be like stalking people in their bathrooms and shit.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just saying, like, I'd like people watching in public. Like, I'll go outside.
Yeah.
Just like we go to the beach, I just people watch. Go to the fair to watch the people. So I would just be one of those ghosts that are like, very chill and just watching people. But there are ghosts that just mess with people.
It's a pretty uncomfortable thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of dead people walking around watching us go to the bathroom, and
You don't think about that?
I hate thinking about that. I hate thinking
Think
about
about
that.
it all the time.
I think about it too. Yeah.
I want to believe that, like, they're around when you're trying to communicate with them, and that's it.
They just go away.
And then they just somehow, go away, and like that's how I want to think about it.
Or like you're in two different realms and you only cross over when you are like trying to.
Yeah, that's how I would like it to function. So
Yeah, I think it's like, for me, think about when they say when people pass away, they are still here on Earth for a little bit before they go to heaven or hell or purgatory.
depending on your belief system, yeah.
Yeah, so like when that happens, like I'm sitting there taking a shit or something, and like I'm like, is someone here that I know like watching me, like checking in on me before they, when they pass away or something? It's weird when you think about it that way. It's like, shit, somebody watching.
You got to get a recorder, Bob. Try to get some EVPs while you're pooping.
Every time they come to check on you, they're like, he's pooping again.
Yeah.
Gotta try next week.
Or they only show up when he is pooping.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting. Like, personally, like from like a spiritual part of it, like I kind of don't get it. It's funny because like, everybody has, like, in the haunt world, there's all these different things, and like, I don't really cross paths that much with the spiritual stuff. I'm kind of more of a monster maker, and you guys are a ghost hunter. Like, that's the difference, So
Yeah.
it's cool that we're talking about this, because I usually don't think about things like this, which is very interesting.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
Because you like big thoughts. Do you think that doing things like creating these home haunts can create ghosts?
I hope not. I hope not. I don't want any of that stuff around here.
Well, it's not his intent, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not conjuring the dead or anything like that. But,
Right.
She's asking that because that's a question that comes up a lot between us.
Yeah.
Like, we'd love to investigate some of these haunted attractions to see what we get and if there's any correlation between what's being created there versus what evidence we get, in EVPs or whatever.
Oh, that's interesting.
The idea is, like, the more people put their attention and thoughts into things, if, like, energy is constant, right? Then they're creating something there. They're almost creating like
An egregore.
an egregore or a tulpa.
Or thought form.
Can you imagine if, like, everybody puts, like, all these animatronics out, these really cool animatronics, and they get possessed, and then they, like, start haunting the neighbor? That'd be cool.
Don't they have a movie about that?
I don't think
They
so.
probably do.
Or it's like you put all these animatronics out and then you create all these like teenage girl thought forms and they just like judge you the whole time.
You're doing an Estes session, or you're capturing EVPs and they're just sitting there ragging on you the whole time.
Yeah.
Ew, what are those? What are those on your feet?
Yeah.
What kind of shirt is that?
Why aren't your moldings white?
Yeah.
My daughter.
Yeah.
It's a long pause. I'm going to edit out.
No, keep it.
So yeah, anyway, Bob, I think you found a pretty niche market there for your creations. Basically taking something that's otherwise not going to be used and fixing it up, maybe turning it into something a little different, upcycling it.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
It is cool. One of the things I wanted to point out too, I belong to tons of different like Halloween related Facebook pages. And, a lot of it are DIY channels and pages that like people post and stuff. And one of my buddies told me to just write on. He's like, some people don't have a creative bone in their body, and things that you build stick out.
See, I think that's nonsense too. I think everybody has a creative side. Do you know what I mean? Like, I literally just got into like doing small little art pieces, right?
Yeah.
Doing like paintings for like the episode art for the show. I just started doing that. And it all kind of comes back to like riding a bicycle, right? I was in art club when I was younger, and
But some people might not have time or energy to do that.
Right,
so
but some people do art, some people do music, some people are creative in different ways. Like, some people are creative the way they work.
Yeah, but that's why someone like Bob is great, because then they're creating all of these things and they don't have to put their time and energy into it. They can just get it from someone like Bob who's already created it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really amazing because like these channels, some people, they try, but they didn't hit the mark. But some other people, I'm blown away by like some of the creativity that these people are putting into this stuff. It's amazing, and it's cool to see everybody's style, right? So for me, like here's a quick analogy. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen Buddy versus Duff. I don't know if you could say it, but it was a TV show. I think it was like a Christmas show, and they did a Halloween show. This was a couple years back. And you had Buddy, who was always big. He made these big designs. And you had Duff, who was doing all this detail and intricate stuff, right? So one of my good friends, Kathleen, she's my neighbor, and we have a battling every year of Halloween houses, And she was like Buddy, making these big pirate ships and doing all this stuff, in her house. And I was like, Duff, I'd be the one doing all this detailed stuff. So what I'm getting at is like, when you go, you have two different people, two different styles, right? So everybody in the haunt community has these different styles, right? So I'll go by and watch people's houses, and like, you could tell dollar store houses. You could tell the people who are creative. You could tell the people who are rich. They have a ton of animatronics.
Yeah.
You could tell the people who like just throw a mishmash of shit just to pummel their senses. But the thing is, like, it's everybody's creative intent. Everybody has their own design. And I love that, because you could like just like listen to a band. Like there's so many different music genres.
Right.
You just gotta pick what you like, you know. And that's what I like about this Halloween thing. It's like you could use whatever your own creative intent to make something cool. You know, I love it. It's
Yeah.
fun. You know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
actually
awesome.
I enjoy doing it. You know.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Okay, so I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you guys very much for having me on. It's been great. I've been talking to a lot of people about it. I am going to cross-post this on my channel to get you guys some exposure too, because like I said, in the haunt industry, we help each other out. I have so many new friends that I've met throughout the whole nation doing my haunted thing. People that reach out, I have so many cool friends. We all help each other out. So if you guys want to check me out, I have the YouTube channel. That's my main baby here. It's the Monster Shop Creepy Tutorials on YouTube. I also have a Facebook page of the same name on Facebook. I'm on TikTok as @MonsterShopBob. And I have an Instagram as well. I think it's at the Monster Shop Creepy Tutorials.
Yep. We'll make sure to get those in the notes.
Perfect.
Yeah, definitely check them out.
Thanks, Bob, for coming on with us today.
Thank you for coming on and talking to us. This was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Hey, no problem. I feel like I can talk forever. I love it. It was great talking to you guys, too.
So, Gabrielle, where could our listeners find us?
www.podcastoftheparanormal.com.
And all of our social links are on there, our email.
Yep. Contact form if you want to reach out, if you want to be a guest, if you want to just tell your story. You don't have to come on. You could do it anonymously. You can also find all our episodes there. Find the different platforms where you can listen to the podcast.
Yes, and please remember to like, share, and comment. That's what gets us, out there.
And if you're local, come say hi to us at Creature Feature, November 7th to the 9th.
At the Hilton in Scranton. All right, Gab, I think that's a wrap.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.